Welcome back to Get Down to Business, the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. Super excited for this conversation with Ron Rescigno, who is the Vice President of, and also is referred to as the Seeker, because he engages nonprofit professionals in conversations to determine if they may be a fit for the company, the Seeker. But Rescigno is just an incredible fundraising team of professionals focusing on helping organizations all over the world, I believe. And I'm super excited to get to know Ron Rescigno in this conversation. Ron, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Ron, tell us about yourself and your role as Vice President of Rescigno's Fundraising Professionals.
Sure, I'd be glad to. My role really is trying to secure, among my roles, I guess I should say, is trying to secure new clients who can benefit from the various services that we offer and the structure that we provide nonprofits who oftentimes are lacking the structure they need to raise the funds that they should be raising to fulfill their missions.
Awesome. Fantastic. That's great. And for many of our listeners, you're aware that I am very passionate about the nonprofit space and the work that nonprofits do in our communities. And I know, Ron, you certainly have quite a bit of your own personal story, which we're going to get into as well. But can you mention some of the nonprofit clients that you and Rescigno Fundraising Professionals works with?
Sure. So some of them in the Chicagoland area include Lyric Opera, Goodman Theater, Silver Cross Hospital, Cole Children's Museum, Oak Lawn Children's Museum. We work with several community colleges throughout the country and with, for example, the Pope Francis Center, which is in Michigan, to name a few.
Yeah, those are some big names, and again, some organizations doing fantastic impact, which is great. And what's the story behind the firm? Tell us a little bit about the work that you and Sue have been doing, and how your organization got started.
Sure, it's a what I believe is a great story. We got started back 33 years ago, actually, and we worked out of two-car garages back then. Believe it or not, stuffing envelopes, putting stamps on envelopes, inserting fundraising letters into envelopes, sealing them, rudimentary but very important things like that. And over the years, we've graduated from a facility of about 1,500 square feet. Right now, we're in 7,000 square feet of space in Bridgeview, Illinois, where we help organizations with their fundraising projects. For example, with the annual fund, helping them with the design of their annual solicitation letters, printing those letters. We're kind of unique in that we do both consulting and the actual design, print, and mailing of appeal letters, for example, newsletters, impact reports, invitations to galas, golf outings, things like that on one side. The other side of what we do is we work on major gift campaigns, capital campaigns, and we do mentoring and coaching for clients who need that part of the expertise that we offer.
Well, congratulations to you and your entire team on all of that success, which is great. And the rumor is that you decided to write a book, and I'd love to hear more about it. Tell us a little bit about it and why you decided to put your labor of love on paper.
I'd be glad to. So this is actually the second book that I wrote. The first book back about 3 years ago that I wrote was on the annual fund process. This second book, though, it was really a labor of love in the sense that for years, I've watched nonprofits fail to raise the kind of revenue that they really should be raising because of common fundamental mistakes that they make. And the name of the book is Fatal Fundraising Flaws.
Fatal fundraising flaws. And Ron, right on that note, why do some nonprofits fail with their fundraising efforts?
A lot of different reasons. For example, they fail to invest the necessary money, to be quite honest and frank with you, invest in a program that will allow them to raise the money that they need to raise. It's like any other thing in life, I guess, where in order to anything that's worth, anything that's of value, you've got to invest in it. And the more you put into it, the more you will get out of it. Another reason that and that idea of investing in a program, investing in staff, investing in the technology necessary to help organizations raise money is very important. Another thing that we find is that organizations kind of flounder because they don't have a written plan that they follow. They're haphazard in their attempts to reach out to their various constituents. A lot of organizations, they talk too much about what they are accomplishing and not enough about what the donor is accomplishing. We are big proponents of donor-centered fundraising, where you talk to donors about opportunities that they have to make an impact.
Yeah, that's great. Ron Rescigno, I'm really enjoying our conversation. Ron Rescigno, again, of Rescigno Fundraising Professionals. And I know we've got a lot more we're going to pick your brain on as we continue to talk about your new book, your second book. I want to hear about some of the fundraising trends. But again, you're listening to Get Down to Business, the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. Get on my website, syklein.com, or of course, check out the show on your favorite podcast app. Just search for Get Down to Business. We'll be right back. All right, back on Get Down to Business, this show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. I'm continuing my conversation with Ron Rescigno, the Vice President of Rescigno Fundraising Professionals, and truly the subject matter expert on the topic of nonprofit development and fundraising efforts. Ron, you've been sharing so many tips, and I would be remiss if I did not ask if there are any fundraising trends that nonprofits need to keep their eye on as they reach out to new and existing donors.
I guess the trends that I'm seeing that are most prevalent right now are organizations that are strengthening their relationships with individual donors more than ever before. These organizations should not make gift giving into a transactional relationship, but rather a one-on-one kind of a relationship that's built over a long period of time. Donors who begin giving at the $50 or $100 level, who you find out why they gave, and then are able to build a relationship based on that kind of knowledge, is a big trend right now. Another one is to find ways to surprise your donors so that giving does not become just a ho-hum exercise for donors. It becomes something that they are interested in doing. And there are, of course, many different ways that you can surprise donors. The important thing is to retain donors at all costs. That is a big trend right now. If you have donors in your database, build relationships with them. That is a big trend going on in 2024.
Oh, that's super helpful. And again, at Rescigno Fundraising Professionals, you're working with all sorts of different nonprofits. You've name dropped a couple of them already, but what are some solutions to help nonprofits to have some of those successful fundraising efforts? Just anything, again, you've already touched on some of the trends, but anything that you think would be important to highlight for our listeners?
Well, as I said kind of in the beginning, organizations really need to invest in their fundraising program. You cannot be successful if you're not investing in a program. For example, if you need outside help, you hire an organization like ours who can help you and guide you along the way and share in the process of raising money. Have a written plan. So many times we go in and we talk with an organization and we ask to see their plan and they tell us it's in their head. We ask to see it in writing and they don't have it. It's very haphazard that way. Be donor focused and thank donors for their gifts. The more you thank them, the more you prepare them for the next time you're going to ask them for a renewed gift. It's sort of the cycle of fundraising, and that is you ask for a gift, you receive it, you thank the donor for the gift, you report back to them about the impact not you've had, but that the donor, him or herself, has had on the organization's ability to help others. And then you have primed them for your next ask. So those are some of the solutions, some of the ideas we're always talking with our clients about.
Ron, I've enjoyed our conversation, and the most important homework assignment I can leave our listeners with is how they can get in touch with you, find your book, and of course, get in touch with your team. How can they do that?
Our website is RES, as in Sam, CIGNOS.com. The phone number is 708-974-2600. My extension is 105. My book, Fatal Fundraising Flaws, is available on Amazon.
Fantastic. Ron Rescigno, thank you so much for sharing your expertise with our listeners. I look forward to having you back on for, who knows, maybe your third and your fourth books, because I know you have a wealth of knowledge to share in all things nonprofit, fundraising, and development. And I know you're super passionate about it. So thank you so much. And that's a wrap for us this week on Get Down to Business, the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. Of course, we'll be back next Sunday right here on AM 560 The Answer with so much more information, some amazing guests. You don't want to miss it, but be sure to check us out on your favorite podcast app. Do me a favor, make sure you subscribe, rate, review, and share on Get Down to Business so you don't miss a single episode. Get Down to Business. We'll see you next week.